Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Mama's Boy podcast. I'm Benji, your co-host, the Mama's Boy.
And I'm Trina, the Mama.
All right, so clearly not a lot of people know who we are. Duh. So this first episode is going to be a little bit of a Q&A, just so you can get to know us a little bit better. So, yeah, let's get into it. All right, Mom, the first question, first of all, where did the name of the podcast come from? Where did this originate?
Okay, so because you guys don't know me, I'll just give you a little backfill. I was a social worker for many years, 17 actually. And I actually ended up having both of my children while I was a social worker. So my coworkers would tease me and say, "Mama!" as they were coming down the aisleways into our cubicles because they thought it was funny because I was one of the only mamas at the time. So beyond that, however, how Benji became the mama's boy, I left social work. I went into the educational field, and one of my favorite all-time kids, we're just gonna call him Robbie for purposes of not sharing his real name, but he was intellectually challenged, and he and Benji actually had PE together. Benji's freshman year, they went to the same high school, and walking into PE one day, Robbie turns around and looks at Benji and says,
"Hey, Mama's Boy."
And it kind of stuck from there.
Dude, I was like, looked around and I'm like, who's he talking to? Because I like snuck into the gym early before PE class and Robbie was in there and I'm like, okay, it's just the two of us and maybe he won't notice me. And all I hear is, "Hey, Mama's Boy." And then I told my mom later and she just thought it was the most funny thing ever. So it kind of stuck and now it's been a running joke.
Yeah, so yeah. We talk about Robbie pretty often. And
yeah,
he's
I miss him.
He's a fun kid. Well, he's a man now, but anyway, that's how the Mama's Boy podcast came to be. I thought it was a cute little name and kind of stuck with Benji for years now. So here we go.
Yeah, and keep in mind, since my parents are in the educational field, I attended the high school that they worked at. Yeah. So I started off with going to elementary school, and my grandma was like the lunch clerk. And the only perk about that was that I sometimes got extra food, which in the long run probably didn't benefit me anymore. And she would occasionally take me home early on some days, which I don't think my parents knew about. But anyway.
No, we did not.
So going up from elementary school into middle school, I finally had a little bit of a break. That school was like corrupted by the time I graduated, and my brother had to deal with that. And then I got into high school, and what do you know? I'm carpooling with my mom every day at 7:45. All right, see you later.
It was awesome.
And I'd run into her, and she'd know where I was. I swear, if I used the bathroom, she knew about it. Yeah. So keep in mind that as we continue our future podcasts. But anyway, yeah. So that's just a little background on where the name came from. All right, next question. You kind of already answered this. What do we currently do for a living? Well, I work as well at the high school with my parents. So I loved it so much during my high school years that I returned. It's kind of giving peaked in high school, but not really. Yeah, so I'm a paraeducator. For those that don't know what that is, it's basically kind of, think of me as like a TA mixed with like a teacher, except I don't get the pay that a teacher would. I'm still very much underpaid.
Because he doesn't have a magical piece of paper.
Yeah, because I don't have a piece of paper saying, "Hey, you can teach this," even though, never mind, I'm not even going to get into it. Yeah, so a paraeducator, I help all students in classrooms. They put me in 6 different classes. Yeah.
Take notes.
I take notes. I help kids with better understandings and stuff like that. So, Mom, give us a little bit more of in-depth of what you do exactly.
So I currently am a special ed teacher in high school. So I have kids ranging from freshmen to seniors. But I also co-teach, and I'm starting English again. It'll be freshman English. So I'm circulating back. I had sophomores last year, freshmen the year before. So now I'll be with freshmen again. So I'm teaching English with another English teacher, but I am in the classroom to support those students that have IEPs, which are individual education plans, and they have they fall under the special ed umbrella. But a lot of fun. Every day is something new and exciting, and you just never know what's going to happen or what's going to come out of anybody's mouth. So yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I just completed my first year as a para, so it was definitely an eye-opening experience. These kids are always trying to throw down with somebody and always looking for an argument. And so when I stepped on the scene, I don't think they knew what to expect when I hit them right back with the shade that they gave me. So that was an eye-opening experience. Our coworkers there, mainly always fun. But yeah, so education, we love it. And if you hear this annoying bird in the background, I apologize.
We don't have a soundproof room, guys.
No. But with your help subscribing, we can get one. Yeah. Okay, so let's lead into the next question. Did you have like a dream job growing up?
Let's see. Well, as a kid, all those little dreams of, oh, what's my future going to hold? I always wanted to be a singer, back in the day. I don't want to date myself or anything, but Dolly Parton was kind of a hit back then, kind of funny. So I thought I'd be a singer like Dolly Parton. That was the fun thing growing up. However, I went on and I thought I would do something in the medical field. My dad always wanted me to be a nurse, but I'm just not really good at blood. However, being a mom, you clean up things, you see things. So I probably could have done it in the long run. But no, I did not. I went into social work and then burned out on that after 17 years. And here we are in the educational field. So I will remain here until my days are in retirement, which I can't wait to happen.
Which, with this salary, you're working to the bone. There's some, I swear, 70 plus. There's a few of them at the school we work at. And I'm like, you got to retire anytime soon? Well, with these salaries, I don't think it's anytime soon.
But then they come back to also substitute teach. So,
yeah.
They're supplementing their income.
It's kind of
I don't want to do that. Like, when I'm done, I'm done.
It's kind of like Stockholm Syndrome. It's like a little toxic. And then you go back to it eventually. Yeah. But anyway.
I don't know. What did you want to do, Benji? What do you want to do when you grow up? You're still growing up.
I'm still growing up. I'm 20 years old, by the way. I know.
I won't tell you my age.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to know that.
It's okay.
You can put it together.
Yeah, okay. Well, my career path has taken a few wild turns. When I was younger, I wanted to be also a singer, so got that from everybody else. Still, nobody can top me at karaoke, though. But anyway.
But you got to be able to sing. I'm not a good singer.
Okay. Yeah, so it was a singer, and then every time we would go to the mall, and I would flip a coin in the fountain, it would be like, oh, performer, just make me famous. Clearly didn't happen.
But it still could.
It still could.
You never know. Subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it took a turn into being a veterinarian, not a veteran. I don't want to go to the war. And then that was another turn, and then it was plastic surgery that I was looking into, and then it was podiatry, and then it was dental hygienist and dental hygiene, and now it's good old special education teacher.
Because, both myself and my husband, Benji's dad, we're both special ed teachers, but my husband has done it for many more years than myself, so I think he's going on his 18th or 19th year in education. So, yeah, so Benji's learning, right? He's seeing what we're doing and how much we've, evolved and given him a good life. So, education, that's where it's at.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, as a para, I get to visualize and see and collaborate with fellow special ed teachers, so I see, how can I help you guys even more to make your job a little bit easier, and just, it's been really eye-opening to see how how the whole job itself is coordinated and what you guys have to go through, and yeah, the respect that teachers are given is very low, but they deserve more than just a raise, let's put it that way.
Amen.
But yeah, so now it's special education is my career path currently. I'll let you know if that changes.
Never know.
You never know.
You're young.
But yeah, so all right. Let's just be frank here. Who's your favorite kid? Me or Adam? Like, who brings you less trouble? Or gives you less of a headache, let's put it that way.
You're funny.
Oh.
I do not have a favorite child. However, Benji and I hang out more because I think we have a few more things in common. We watch the same TV shows, we get the same sense of humor. Mm-hmm. Like, we can, interact a little bit better. My younger son is very sports orientated. He hangs out a little bit more with his father because, David is a coach. He also teaches. He's been in the whole sports realm with Adam his whole life. However, Benji as well. But Benji, past a certain point.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, he was done with sports. So that's fine. It's not for everybody. But no, I do not have a favorite. However, I do tend to hang out with Benji a little bit more. But that does not make me love either of them any more or less. It's just, that's how we roll around here.
I feel like that's what every mom
Benji
says.
actually will go do things for me and with me.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great way to swerve that question. So being brutally honest with me, was I actually good at any of the sports I played as a kid, or were you just gassing me up for my own self-esteem? Let's just be, because you mentioned sports, so let's just get into it.
I'll just give you a little memory. Benji, every first game, opening day of Little League, Benji would get up to bat. He'd have his little bat up on his little shoulder and bring it out like he was really going to smack the crap out of it, right? Yeah, he'd get beamed right in the shoulder. Every first pitch. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if it's because they were like intimidated by the size and the strength and what he looked like. Like he looked like he could get it if he really wanted to. But yeah, he'd be beamed every time. So, Benji had a lot of potential. I honestly think you could have done really well. However, he didn't have the drive. But he was really a good pitcher at one point. But, he just... Kids, either you like sports or you don't. Honestly, that's how it is. But we wanted both of our kids to stay out of trouble and to be engaged and with us. So yeah, they both played sports from the time they were, you were like 5. I think Adam started a little bit younger, like at 4. And he was able to do so because my husband coached soccer at that time. So, we wanted the kids involved in things so they stayed out of trouble. And, that's the goal, is keep your kids busy and not so they're going to go out and do other things. So as far as talent wise, I mean, Benji had talent, but I don't think that he really had the drive for it. So
that was just baseball. What do you think about, was I good at soccer? Basketball? What?
You know what? You actually had the same, I think, level of everything. Mm-hmm. It's just you were kind of out there just getting a little bit of exercise and having fun with your friends. But I don't think you were very ambitious to actually see the ball. Like when you did get the ball, you're like, okay, I'm going to throw it up. I'm going to make a basket.
Yep.
Oh, that didn't end well. But you're trying.
I think I got nervous. I was like, oh my God, I have the ball. Who do I give it to now?
But I was that way with basketball too. I was not a good basketball player.
In soccer, I always wanted to be goalie because I could stand there. They're like, all right, who wants to be forward? I ducked.
But then when you would make a goal, you'd do the little horns on your head, right? Like a bull. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that meant. But back then it was something cool where he thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Let's leave the sports to Adam, okay? All right. So are there any embarrassing childhood stories that you can share of either of yours or any of mine that you can...
I have a lot on you. It's pretty funny.
Oh.
So I'll just take it back to the days when, we lived up north and we had a pool. And of course, in the summertime you have wasp nests.
Oh.
Okay, so my husband, David, he says, hey, Benji, come out here and hold the flashlight while I aim 20 feet up in the air at the light, which is like a floodlight, down on the pool. And we're going to spray the wasp nest. Well, that did not end well.
Keep in mind I have no shirt on while I'm holding this flashlight.
Benji has no shirt on. He's probably 10?
Yeah.
10 years old or so. So, did you have the slider open?
Yes. The sliding door to our...
From the pool into the house.
Yes, was open at this time, which I don't know... Okay, I'm glad it was. But anyway, let's just get into it. Continue.
So, Benji's holding the flashlight. My husband sprays the wasp... hornet.
I'm directly underneath the wasp's nest.
Yeah. So
they
anyway,
set me up.
I'm in the kitchen cleaning up after dinner because, it's a summer night. And all I hear is screaming. And he's running from the back of the house towards the kitchen. And yeah, that's a pretty vivid.
Every single wasp was dropped onto my body, fighting for its life because they were just rudely basically kicked out of their home.
Woken up. They were evicted.
Yeah, that's the word, evicted.
They were evicted, and it was like a death
and
sentence.
they moved onto my body. They said, oh, new home. Bit me everywhere on my back. 10-year-old me, traumatized, running through the house, wondering if they're still on me. Yeah.
Yeah, those were good times. And then
who?
And then I remember also he got in trouble for something. Well, we had dog gates up because we had basset hounds at that point, and so I had to keep them away from certain areas of the house. So I had a doggy gate up. Well, Benji thought he would be funny and smart off. Well, I went running after him, and he tripped over the doggy gate.
I tried to do some, like, running track and field, jump over the hurdle.
It was like a hurdle, but he didn't clear the hurdle.
Levels. There was, like, a step, and the doggy gate was there. And so I tried to do a hurdle, tripped over the doggy gate, and my knee went into the, like, our tin trash can. There's still a dent in it to this day. And, yeah, it was not good for me. I fell flat on my freaking face, and, yeah, it was not a good story. But, yeah. So I think I still have one.
Well, it was a great story. It's just not a good story to you. Because you probably hurt yourself. I mean, you had a banged up knee from that point. But it was very funny at the time. I mean, like, I was laughing, but I was so mad that you actually had, ran away from me. But that lives with me as well. And then, when we first moved into the same house, the first summer, the boys both got really, really sunburned. And Benji had like these kind of like, were they water blisters kind of?
Yeah.
Well, one was like huge. It was almost like an egg yolk. It was so gross.
It was like sun cysts or something. It was like blisters all over.
Bad.
It was icky. If you want to look it up on your own time, go ahead.
But both of the boys had gotten in a little argument. Well, Adam is like a little...
He's violent.
Yeah, he's a little...
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah. So like when he gets mad, it's on. So he sees an opportunity to really get a hold of Benji.
In my short sleeves, think about this. My arms and my back are all covered with these sun blisters, like from a severe sunburn. And yeah, so I'm wearing short sleeves as we're moving to our new home.
Oh yeah, because we had just moved in.
Yeah.
So Adam sees an opportunity to get back at Benji over something that he'd done or said something or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember the specifics. But he proceeds to take his hand and smack Benji's arm and then drag it down his arm to like his elbow.
Popping every one blister on my forearm.
So it's just like wet and dripping. I mean, it was the most disgusting thing. And of course, it hurts. So Benji's like screaming bloody murder.
I felt like someone ripped off the first layer of my skin.
Probably. I mean, really, that was actually a couple layers, probably.
The goop was like crystallizing.
It was nasty.
It was icky. I felt like a tree.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. But those, what is that, 3 memories in particular? Yeah. Those
were all in a 6-month period.
Well, yeah, kind of. Mm-hmm.
So, you want to hear more about our embarrassing stories, leave a comment below. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so what are your summer plans currently? Like, you guys just went to Disneyland. I stayed home because we don't have a dog sitter.
But you said you wanted to go in September.
Yeah, I also want to go in September when they do the
Halloween.
The Halloween-ish Oogie Boogie thing.
We've never done that. So we've done Christmas, but we've never done Halloween. So we'll go September, October and do that.
Yep.
But summer plans, I'd like to maybe go to like maybe some more amusement parks, go to the beach. Oh, for my birthday, which is in just a few short weeks, we're going to do like a wine tour thing.
I will not be in attendance because I am not the legal drinking age.
No, but maybe next summer. But my husband and I have not visited a winery together. Well, I take that back. We went to Napa years ago. I think you might have been born, maybe not. But either...
She said, he's out, get me my wine, my Cabernet.
Regardless, though, I mean, it's been many, many moons. So it's time to go. So my husband's cousin and his wife will be here. And we're just going to go and spend the day and go up to Big Sur and have a great time. Drink some wine, get a little loopy, and enjoy each other's company. I can never pronounce the word. What's that called? That has all the cheese and meats. What is it called?
Charcuterie.
Yeah, that thing. So we're going to do one of those.
Have a good charcuterie board.
That is good. So, do some whites, do some reds.
Really cool.
Yeah. And it's not like a necessarily momentous as far as the year for my birthday this year.
Well, yeah, because like
But I still want to go have fun.
Because the past 3 years have sucked.
Yes.
COVID happened. I didn't get to have any form of graduation party because the following year in 2021 I graduated high school, and 2022 we started off summer and got COVID, the whole household. So we're hoping that this summer is somewhat adventurous and we can go out and do things, and if we need to relax, just relax. I feel like this year has also been the most exhausting first 6 months of the year. So yeah, just a little bit of relaxation, some adventure. Should be good.
Yeah. Right. Just, I think that's the whole key, is to relax and enjoy and just, I do want to work out a little bit more and maybe get some weight off, because pansona here is, it's not good. But, just a little bit of weight, get a little healthy. That would be my summer plan too. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to close this out with one last question. Do you have a dream guest on the podcast? I mean, I highly doubt we'll get it like celebrity, but, maybe if I get a good DM. Do you have like a friend that you want to join? Do you want your own mother on this podcast?
Loretta would be great, but Loretta might be off task. Like, she might get off on a little tangent.
Yeah, and then before I have 20 minutes to edit of something we got off track with.
But I think she would be entertaining because we have a lot of the same like personality and personality traits. However, honestly, I love Tamara Judge. I love to listen to her, and she is raw and she'll tell you how it is. And she's a little like me that way. Like, I don't hold much back. I mean, obviously I need to for your guys' ears.
Oh no, we're getting explicit on this podcast. But this is a over 18.
I'm going to try not to like cuss though.
Yeah, this is for mature audiences only.
I might get a little verbal, but yeah. So
okay,
yeah. So I think Tamara Judge.
Tamara Judge. She just returned to the Real Housewives of Orange County, which we will be recapping in our future episodes.
Yes.
I personally, let's get on to this. Actually, do you have like a favorite podcast? Because I used to hate podcasts, and now it's like a newfound guilty pleasure of mine, and I love Two Teas in a Pod.
That's all I really listen to because I listen with you. I don't actually go on the radio and go to Sirius XM and go, what podcast am I going to pull up? Because I just don't care, honestly. But I will listen to Two Teas in a Pod because I just think they're both hilarious.
Yeah, and her and Teddy Mellencamp. Teddy gets too much hate. I'll put it out there. She gets too much hate for 3 seasons. She is always trending on Twitter, and someone is always dragging her for literally doing nothing. Yeah, she did some crappy thing to LVP. LVP has moved on. It's time you guys need to as well. And now I'm probably going to lose a bunch of subscribers for saying that. But, it is what it is. We can all share our candid opinions. Hello, did you listen to the trailer? Okay. So I think Teddy and Tamara would be awesome to have on this podcast. Another one I would say probably be Lala Kent from the Give Them Lala podcast.
She's a little vocal.
She's vocal. We love her. We'll also be recapping the VPR reunions part 1 through 3, where she cut a bitch with, her tongue that is very sharp. So those are just a few that we would hope to get on. Thank you guys so much for listening to this very first podcast episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, we're recording this in our home, so if you hear ting and dog shakes and dog feet and birds squawking, the birds aren't ours though.
And the neighbors.
And then annoying neighbors. Just keep that in mind.
It's not in a soundproof room.
Yeah, we're not soundproof, but once again, subscribe and we might get that room. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.
Until
leave
next
a comment.
time.
We are on Instagram now.
Holy moly.
You can follow us. You can follow us at the Mama's Boy Podcast on Instagram. I'm also tagged in the bio if you want to follow me as well to see my day-to-day life that I post. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you're on YouTube and you're listening to this to YouTube, thank you so much for listening. And we hope to be on future platforms soon, like Spotify and anywhere else you get your Apple Music or your podcast. And thank you guys so much for listening, and adios.
Have a great day.
Bye.